Before I get started today, I know that there's some people here that are kind of familiar with Hebrew, and I know there's some people here that, there's several people here that are just like absolute beginners at Hebrew or wanting to start learning, and there's probably some people here that know absolutely nothing. So starting next week, I'm going to start implementing some absolute beginner type stuff. So if you want to start taking notes or something, I will, oh my goodness, what? I will start doing that. How did this happen? I made sure that my slides were right today. Okay. There must be something wrong with PowerPoint, which is why it's doing that. Well, Vayeshev is today's Torah portion, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's something with PowerPoint or PJ's computer, because I made sure this was all correct.
It's got to be my computer. Yeah. I did that just for you.
I triple-checked everything. Okay, here we go. So Vayeshev is right here, and it means he dwelt. Vayeshev, Yaakov. Verbs come first in Hebrew, in case some of you who didn't know that. Verbs come first. Hebrew is a very action-oriented language. It's all about verbs. So if you look that word up, it comes from the word Vayeshav, which means to sit down, literally. It's like a Hebraism for like to dwell. And you could see that here when Abraham is sitting at the tent door. That's the same exact word translated dwelled here. And the same word here when it says that, Yahweh inhabits the praises of Israel. Some translations say that he is enthroned in the praises of Israel, and I really liked the way they said that because it comes from the word Yeshav, meaning to sit. So here's another one you should be familiar with. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together. I don't need to tell you what the Hebrew is on that. You should know it. Hinei matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. So here's the word shevet. That comes from the word yashav, meaning to sit or to dwell. So more literally, it's like how pleasant is the dwelling of brothers together. But for some of you who do know some Hebrew, does this word look kind of similar? What does it look like? It looks like the word Shabbat right there. Now, Shabbat means like rest or ceasing. But, if you're working outside in the sun all day, and you naturally want to rest, what are you going to do? Sit down, sit down. So shevet, sitting down or dwelling, is related to Shabbat in the idea of resting, sitting down. So, let's see what's next. Okay, so we're going to talk about Joseph. So Israel loved Joseph more. So Joseph, if you look his name up, most of you probably already know that his name means, he adds, or he will add, from the word Yasaf. But some things that you don't see in English are like two times after this, you see that verb used in the Torah portion. So Joseph dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, and they hated him more. That is there's Joseph right there. And then this is that verb that's translated more here, and more literally it says like they added hate of him is kind of more literally what it says. So that's the word Yosef, and this is the word Vayosifu, which kind of creates. I think I mentioned several times that there's like alliteration where the Hebrew will use similar sounding words to kind of poetically. There's also that right here. When he dreamed a dream, Vayachalom chalom. So that kind of stuff is all over the place. Let's see what's next. And there's another time where it's that same word where Joseph gets his name used in the same portion, just 2 or 3 verses later. Okay. So here we have Pharaoh was wroth against his 2 officers. Hebrew goes back to things that are concrete. To be wroth or angry is a really abstract concept. So I'm going to try and break down some similar words to Hebrew and this word to find out what the concrete meaning to this is. So to be wroth is the word katsaf. That's the word there. A similar related word to the root is the word katsatz, and I'm highlighting the same letters that are in that root, which means to chop or to cut. All right? And then we have the word kates, which is going to be in our next Torah portion, which means an end. When you cut something, there's an end to it, If you cut a rope, now you have a new end. It just ends there where you cut it off. You get the word katsar, which means short. If you cut a rope, now it's shorter when you cut it. So if you look up the first word we had, katsaf, to be wroth, translated there, you'll see that it means to crack off. Instead of cutting off, it's to crack off. So I think an idea in modern English, you might say he had a breaking point, or something inside of him just snapped. He just snapped. That would be the more concrete idea behind being angry or being wroth. Yeah. Okay, so he had a dream where he was binding sheaves. The word for sheaf is aluma. It comes from the word alam, which means to bind something, which was right up here. Come on. Binding something. So they were basically, they were binding something that is bound. By the way, for anyone learning Hebrew, whenever you see an oo sound in a word, that usually makes it passive. So this would be something that is bound. Does that make sense? Like eat, eaten, bind, bound. So you could just change it from alam to alum. In Hebrew, you just put an oo sound in it and it becomes passive. So you get the word elaim, which is actually the word for dumb or mute. You can't speak. You're tongue-tied. Your tongue is bound, basically. And then you have the word almanah, which is the word for a widow. And some people say that it's from being bound up in grief. I don't know for sure what it means, but I just thought it was interesting, and I'd share that with you. So, yeah. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, so I was going to step away from doing more complicated stuff with Hebrew, and since some of you they're new to learning, I figured I'd start with super easy verses that have basic vocabulary that you see everywhere. If you just start learning these words, you could start learning, being able to read the majority of your Bible, because it's all going to be the same words all over again. So this is Proverbs 21:2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. First word is kol, which means all. The second word is derech, which means it's the word translated way, but it means more like a pathway or a road, something you walk in. Next word is ish, man. This word, yashar, is the word for right or righteous, but more literally, it means straight, because the opposite of, straight is crooked, and crooked is associated with being perverse or evil. So, yashar, meaning straight, represents what is right or righteous. Here's a super common word, eyes. Okay, so in, einav, be'einav, in his eyes. Less common word, v'tochen. This was ponder. It means to measure, either by length or weight. To balance or to equalize. And then you have libot, plural of the word lave, which is heart. And then this is Yod He Vav He, the name of God. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still new to trying to teach stuff. Wow. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so PJ's computer is messing me up now again. So, oh my goodness.
I specially programmed it to do that just so we could see how you did under pressure.
Yeah,
You're doing good.
well, there we go. Okay, what is this? I can't even read it.
When the chief baker saw.
Okay, we're talking about modern Hebrew. So it's just the word basket here. Remember he had dream with 3 baskets? And we're talking about modern Hebrew words here. This is just kind of silly stuff. So the word for basket is sal.
Salt, that means salt in Spanish.
Okay. The word for a ball, oops, I said it already. The word kadur means ball, so can you tell where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So basketball in Hebrew is kadur sal. All right.
Basketball,
Let's see. Okay, I wouldn't even know if I should have done this or not, because it's just kind of got complicated. All right, let's see. How about the word for data? Data. What does data mean? So I was going to bring it in Spanish and in French. So in Spanish it's datos, and in French it's données. Now, it's not clear what, in English what data means, but if you know Spanish or French, you know, especially French, because this is super clear. It means like something given things. Okay, so like givens is like what the word data really means in those languages. So Hebrew copies that same idea. The word to give in Hebrew is natan. And so given, remember I mentioned earlier passive, you just add an oo sound to it. So natun, make it plural so it matches the other ones, you get netunim, data. Okay. Man, my slides are all messed up. All right. You can barely read that. All right, so this says to download. How do you download something in biblical Hebrew? Can you do that? So in modern Hebrew, it's the word horid, not horrid. Okay, it's the word horid, and it comes from the word yarad, which means to go down or to descend. Which, by the way, the Jordan River, the Yarden, that means like a descender, something that's going down. But so in Hebrew, if you add like the letter hey at the beginning of the verb, which was this word yarad, and the yod goes away, it's kind of complicated, but when you do that, it means like to cause something. So this means go down, so this means cause to go down. Horid means to cause to go down, make it go down, or bring something down. So in our Torah portion, we had Joseph was brought down to Egypt. So was Joseph downloaded to Egypt? I don't know, but that's how Hebrew made created a word for it to download in modern Hebrew. So I think that's it. Shabbat Shalom.